What's up? Welcome into your daily Buckeye Blitz for a Sunday, May 14th, 2023. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and you other mothers and all the mothers and to especially my mother. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. Hope you're having a good one. Don't forget to call your mom if she's still around and just say hi, if nothing else. You never call enough. You don't call enough. You should call more. Is that motivating or what? All right. Enough of the hijinks. Don't forget tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, YouTube Live. And going forward, we started Friday with the premiere episode of the Buckeye Rush Hour. Now we're going Monday, Wednesday, Friday, forever. No stop. May even ramp it up to every day during the season. We'll see. But anyways, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the Buckeye Rush Hour. Subscribe. We'll have it in podcast form if you prefer that. YouTube is probably the best place to view it because we're going to be reading the messages from the chat. The chat is driving the show. So a lot of input from you guys. So get in there, ask your questions, give me your comments. I want to hear your point of view as to what you think about whatever the topic might be. Like we talked Friday about, is 2023 a championship or bust season for the Buckeyes? And I laid out why I think it is, So we got a lot of third-year guys that we're depending on and could be gone to the NFL a year from now. So that was my rationale. But anyways, we're going to have a different topic every day, and we'll get into some recruiting talk, of course. We're going to, as things heat up, our class is only about half full right now, maybe just over. We'll see what that turns out to be. But more than just the daily blitzes recruiting updates, we're going to be talking about that in the Buckeye Rush Hour. So check it out, subscribe, appreciate you, and let's get on with the show. Today, we're talking about quarterback for the Buckeyes. What is a good season for the Ohio State starting quarterback in 2023? We're not going back 20 years. The offenses have changed. Coaching has definitely changed. The style of play has definitely changed across all of football, from lower levels to the NFL. It's changed everywhere. So let's look at Ryan Day. Since he is the head coach, we're running his offense, regardless of whether Brian Hartline is calling the plays or not. Still Ryan Day's playbook, essentially. So your bucket of plays you have to choose from are Ryan Day's, hand-selected plays. So regardless of who's calling it, let's look at Ryan Day's career since he's been at Ohio State, all right? Because he doesn't really have a deep coaching career as an offensive coordinator at the college level. So January 2017, Ryan Day is hired to replace co-offensive coordinator Tim Beck. That guy sucked. Whoa. Was that guy useless or what? Is he still around? Jeez. Last I saw, he was in like South Carolina or some shit, coaching quarterbacks. So good luck with that, dude. And Ed Warner was the other co-offensive coordinator back then. That guy wasn't much better. He could coach offensive line, but don't let that dude call fucking plays. Oh, jeez. Anyways, so we got Ryan Day comes in January 2017. We start converting the offense. JT's the quarterback. January 2018, Ryan Day is promoted to offensive coordinator and primary play caller. So that's JT. 2017 is JT's last year. Ryan Day's first year. You might remember that was JK's freshman year, finished second in the Big Ten with 1,400 yards, trying to give you some context so you kind of remember who else was on the team, especially offensively. And receivers were like your Austin Mack, Ben Vick, KJ Hill, probably Terry McLaurin back then might have been. Then 2018. Oh, yeah, we probably should read JT's stats. That's what we're all about here. So JT stats in 2017, Ryan Day's first year calling plays. He goes for just over 3,000 yards, 35 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Okay. So decent year, a step up from the previous year for JT. But that was in 14 games. So just over 3,000 yards, 14 games. Good, not great, I would say. So let's look at 2018. We know what happened there. RIP Dwayne Haskins, but Dwayne came in and just lit the freaking quarterback room on fire, man. 14 games. So I just said 14 games for JT. Yeah, 14 games for Dwayne Haskins with Ryan Day as the primary play caller officially. He throws for almost 5,000 yards, 4,831 yards, 50 touchdowns, only 8 interceptions, and even has the 4 rushing TDs to tack on there. But the completion percentage is sick, 70%, man. Wow. Yeah, Dwayne lit it up. You might remember J.K. and Mike Weber were the running backs then. They combined for 2,000 yards. Your wide receivers were, again, Austin Mack, KJ Hill, Paris Campbell. Campbell led the team with just over 1,000 yards receiving. Now we're blowing that out of the water, man. And 12 receiving touchdowns. So the other guys just chipped in, 2019, that's Justin Fields, year 1, okay, at Ohio State. Running back J.K. Dobbins was the first Buckeye to rush for 2,000 yards. Got Wilson and Olave as your primary receivers. But look at these numbers. You can't. I'll read them to you. You can't look at them. You could pull them up. But anyways, 3,273 yards. This is 14 games also. That's back when we used to go to the Big Ten championship, by the way. That's why I played 14 games. 3,200 yards, almost 3,300, 41 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, man. That is freaking sick. Wow. And his yards per attempt is almost 10. And that's just a second-year guy, first year in the system. So Justin Fields had a great first year at Ohio State. Then 2020, shit hits the fan, COVID year, shut everything down, play 8 goddamn games. So what I did is I took those 8 games and divided up his yards and touchdowns and then extrapolated it over a 12-game season. So year 2, I estimate in a regular season, 3,150 yards for Justin Fields if he played a full 12-game season, and then 33 touchdowns. Now, if you go up to 14 games, you might as well tack on. That could get up to 3,700 yards and probably almost 40 touchdowns. So huge difference there. And the big thing that I wanted to note is the increase in the completion percentage. He is at 67.2. Justin Fields was his first year, then goes up to 70.2. That's a 3% jump, man. That's a big deal when you're throwing. He still had 225 attempts in the COVID year in 8 games. So huge jump, and that's what Ryan Day does. And I know it comes with growth as a college quarterback. The more years you're in a system, you should get better. But that's a significant jump in completion percentage and accuracy. So that brings us to CJ, year 1, 2021. Travion and Mayan are the running backs. Travion's freshman year. You got Wilson and Olave. JSN cracks the lineup. So CJ goes for, in 2021, 4,435 yards and 44 touchdowns passing. That's only 12 games. Remember, he did not start the Akron game, so 11 regular season games, and then the Rose Bowl. So that's huge. In 12 games, 4,400 yards, 44 touchdowns. That's amazing. But then last year, in 2022, in 13 games, he only throws for 3,700 yards and 41 touchdowns. So quite a dip there. 700 yards less and just a few less touchdowns in one more game. So interesting there to me. We're not going to talk about rushing attempts. It's touchy subject still. Unless you want to talk about the Georgia game, we could talk about those rushing attempts. That was okay. But so all that to get to my point of what is a good year for Kyle or Devin. And I'm going to, for this episode, just talk about them as equals, as if we don't know who's going to start. So you guys know where I stand on that. But I think a good season for either quarterback or a combination of the two, should one get hurt, I think a good season is 3,800 yards passing, 40 touchdowns. You know, that's not, we're not going to get up to Dwayne's heights, you know, until we get to the expanded playoff, and we got to play fucking 17 games to get a trophy. But anyways, I think a little better than Justin Fields' first year, way better than JT Barrett's senior year of 3,000 yards and 35 touchdowns. So I think more in line, regardless of who the quarterback is, more in line with CJ Stroud's first year, or CJ Stroud's kind of an average of his first and second years, you know, and 40 touchdowns. I don't think that's asking too much. Again, minimal rushing yards. I'm not going to even go there because it's still the same offense for the most part. I know Devin's supposed to be the more athletic of the two and may occasionally run a read option. That's not going to be the foundation of the offense. They're not going to suddenly change it, you know, and go like Wayne T or some wishbone shit. You know, it's still going to be minimal rushing required, you know. And with the offensive weapons we have, Marv and Emeka, hopefully a healthy running back room. You got Cade Stover, the tight end, returning. There's no reason that 3,800 yards and 40 touchdowns is unattainable. I almost put that as my average. Like that's it. That's just doing your job almost, you know. That's minimum almost. So 3,800 yards, 40 TDs. Hit me in the comments, email me, whatever. Contact me. Let me know what you guys think, whether it's Kyle or Devin. You can tell me who you think is starting. You know where I stand, I assume. But it's 3,800 yards and 40 touchdowns. Does that seem right on to you? And that's regular season now. Keep that in mind. That's regular season. All right. Assume we go to the Big Ten championship, you tack on probably 300 plus yards per game there, and probably 3 or 4 touchdowns at least. We go to the playoffs. That's a 14th game, you know, go to the national championship, 15th game. So you can see how things can jump up quickly, and going to the national championship, which is the expectation, I should say, you could get up into 4,500 yards into that atmosphere for 15 games, and 52 touchdowns. You know, you could get close to Dwayne Haskins' numbers. But anyways, hit me up. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Agree, disagree, whatever. Talk to you later. Go Bucks.